Welcome to the Nova Scotia Free Speech Bulletin podcast. We welcome Guy with us this evening. How are you?
Good, good, and thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be with you, Tony.
It's a very pleasure to meet you and talk with you. I believe you're out of Quebec.
Yes, yes, 1 hour difference.
Yes, some of my podcasts are 4 or 5 hours different, and
Yes, I could say
difference
that,
trying
yes.
to arrange it. So, what do you think about our beautiful country?
Well, I think that every country is beautiful, uh, uh, and Canada is no exception to that. But we are in a total mess. The
We're in,
whole world is in a total mess.
we're in a lot of trouble, aren't we?
We are. Um, and there are two ways of seeing this situation. Either I see it as a victim and they are the bad guys and the 1% are the bad guys. Or I see it as an opportunity for the 99% who we are to move on to something else. The question I always ask myself is what's going on? What is the problem? That is it has okay, let me say it differently. Is this difference of the few ruling the many, is this something new or is it something recent, current? Well, no, it has always been. The question is what the 99%, we keep blaming the 1%, but how about the 99% accepting the situation of being ruled by a minority? The majority has been ruled by a minority forever. What does the majority do that we keep being ruled by a minority? This was my question, and the answer I got to find whatever. The answer is we have been accepting, we have been giving priority to our having over our being. And this is called, you know, prostitutions in a way. We've been given up our being in favor of our having. And if we, it's easy for the 1% to manipulate us. All they do, they give us candies, or they hit us with the sticks. But it's what are we going to change within ourselves? The 99%. I know that we can change this. So as far as I'm concerned, I do not have much interest anymore in finding out who, and I know who they are, and I know how they proceed, and I know everything. I don't need to know more. I need to find out what I am going to change with myself. So this is where I put more emphasis.
It's they know how to do it. They divide, they conquer us,
Yep. Yeah.
and they bribe us, like you said. And they do all these things. They do anything they can that we're not united. We all need to unite. And I guess the question is, what do we do as the 98, 99%? What do we do?
So yes, that's why I got back to the down to the ground question. what do we do that we have to change? And we are corrupted. They are more than we are. That's why they do better. But we live in corruption. And again, it's not to blame ourselves or criticize what we do. It's just to, what is the problem with the 99%? 99%. What is our problem? And our problem is that we give priority again to our having over our being. For instance, we've been told if you don't get the job, you will lose your job. And we agreed to get the job in order to maintain the status quo of our job and our income and our mortgage and our traveling and whatever. So we give priority to our having over our being. And so we are corruptible and corrupted. That's all. And they know it and they use it very, very well. They're very talented, very good at it. But we have the power. So I wrote a book many years ago entitled The Medical Mafia. That was in 1995. And I was wondering, I was a medical doctor, and I was looking for a solution to the medical health system, which was not doing well at all, which is not doing any better, even worse now. But I was trying to find a solution to fix this system. And I realized that the problem is that the patient, the sick person, the patient, let's call him or her the patient has the power, but the patient is submitted to the doctor and to the insurance companies. Patient gives his power to the doctor and his money to insurance companies. That's all. So he loses or she loses his power. We are powerful, but we give our money to the government. We give our money to religions, to external authorities, whereas the only real authority is individual and inside us. There's no external authority. And we've been told, brainwashed for eons, that countries are sovereign. Well, sovereignty means the supreme authority. This is what the dictionary says. Supreme means there's no one above. It's the very top. Supreme authority. So this supreme authority cannot be lost. I cannot lose my supreme authority because I am the one on the top. So if we look at the countries right now, countries are all losing their sovereignty. So maybe it was not real. So where is real authority? It's within the individual. And the conclusion to the medical mafia, how do we get healthy, is to reclaim our individual sovereignty. So that was my, how would I say, that was the conclusion of the medical mafia, because yes, there's a mafia, there's a medical mafia, political mafia, financial, everything is a mafia. We live in a total mafia. Every system is a mafia. But that was I was talking about the medical mafia in the book. And the solution was, let's take it back, our power, our money, and our decisional power. Now we leave it up to the doctor doctor is serves the big pharma, and we give our insurance, our money to insurance companies, private or public. Uh, they are controlled by big money, and the government is serving big money. So we're totally powerless, and this, and we feel terrible, and this is not healthy at all, not for the system and not for us as individuals. So that's how I realized that yes, there's a solution. There's a solution to every system, to all of them, because the problem is the same. And it's remembering who we are, remembering who we are. We are not victims. We're not poor sheep. We are the supreme authority. And that may sound a little bit nonsense, a little nonsense. But again, let's remember, let's question this very basic, this very basic definition, identity. What is our real identity? Is it to be sheep of and obey the shepherd, whoever he is or she is? Should it be political or religious? Or should it be, or are we the ultimate authority inside us, what we call our soul, and obey our soul? Oh, that's different. So it's a major questioning of our deep identity. So this is what I'm very interested in, and this is what I practice. It means a total shift in my behavior. Of course, I cannot behave the way I did in the past. Should it be with religion or with the government? And that led me to letting go of, I even renounced citizenship, because I cannot contribute to income tax when I know that income taxes are going in the deep pockets of world financiers. I cannot collaborate with that. I cannot cooperate with that, contribute to that fraud. I don't know how far you are interested in the financial system, but it's fraudulent. We are corporations. It's a corporation. The country is a corporation. We are corporations, and
Right through to the banks.
Pardon me.
Right through to the banks. They're all fraudulent.
It's fraud from A to Z.
Oh yeah.
So is government. So is government, controlled by bankers. And the governments, the countries, the provinces are all companies, corporations. They are not. Justice, there's no justice. Justice is a business. It's a contract.
But this all ties into the World Economic Forum.
Pardon me?
This all ties into the World Economic Forum.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, it does. And they lead the world. And they lead the world. How is this possible? Because we believe that they have authority over us, that they have the power. We give it. We give it away. We work hard. Just think about it. We work hard, get some money out of it, but we have to give it to the government. That's a mafia. Same thing as the mafia. Every time I buy something, I do something, I earn something, I have to give a percentage to the mafia, to the political, financial mafia, well, political government, and who gives it to big money, to big bankers. So it's a fraud from A to Z. It's all fraudulent. So I do not, I cannot cooperate with that. My soul says no, no way, no way.
Well, these vaccines are pretty well bioweapons. That this has all been fraudulent. Like, uh, for one, your medical information should be private. Should be between yourself and your doctor, should it not? This whole thing has been fraudulent right from the start. You were a physician, weren't you, in Canada?
Yes, I was. I was banned when I wrote the Medical Mafia, the book The Medical Mafia, many years ago. But yes, I was a physician,
When they're banning you for an opinion.
of course. Nothing is new.
Well,
We don't have the right to. We don't have. We are banned if we tell the truth. Of course. I was banned in 1995, right? When I lost them, when I wrote the book, I was banned a few months later.
I think I learned a lot through this pandemic, this COVID pandemic, and I think the lies went. I mean, what you're talking now, the lies went back a long ways. I don't even have the sugar in my diet that I used to be because I believe they've been killing us for years with a lot of things. And I'm sure they're still doing it because you don't know what's safe anymore and what isn't. And it's really sad to see the way the country is going.
Well, I, yes, it is sad, but it is necessary. We have been sleeping for decades. It's time that we wake up. And again, as long as I keep blaming the 1%, I remain a victim. And I am not a victim. I am a creatrix, a creator. I create. This is what supreme authority means. Again, we have been made to believe, and this may be shocking for some people. It's not to shock, it's just to think differently. We've been made to believe that there is a supreme authority, is a God in heaven, and it's outside, that we are poor sinners. Well, we're not. We're not. We are what we call God. We are this supreme authority. So we create what is going on in this world. And if we have created hell on earth, because this is what's going on, it's hell on earth. Well, we can create heaven on earth. But we, the 99%, have to change because we are the ones with the real power, the only real power, the only sovereign power. The countries are not, countries are corporations. Let's not forget that. And they don't have the power. Only the individual has the power. And the individual can say yes or no to give it away. And when we vote, we give our power away. We give our sovereignty away. And why do we do that? Because we still believe that somebody greater than us can do better than we do. How about keeping our power and our money and using it for our own good, not for the bankers? it's so
They're
that's
telling,
why I insist on who we are, because otherwise we remain victims, and it's not fun to be a victim, and we feel very powerless, but we are powerful. Reality is that we are extremely powerful.
they're telling us that there was interference in our elections, that China was involved. So we were never really living in a democracy.
No, never. The democracy is not true. That doesn't exist. Democracy means the people has the power. The people cannot have the power. The only the individual has the power. The people is 50%, 51% who has the majority. Well, if I have the power, I cannot be majority or minority. But the individual, as an individual, I have full power to say yes or no, to decide for myself, not for the others, for myself to make a decision. I have full power. Whereas democracy means the people. Who is the people? And we people were still run by our egoistic part. We can be either governed by our ego or governed by our soul. Majority of us are still governed by our ego, and our egos are different from one person to the other. So that's why we cannot get to an agreement. It's always some win and some others, the other group loses. So that's not the solution. Democracy does not exist. We were made to believe this, to believe in democracy. And we thought we had democracy. We never had democracy. And it's impossible to have democracy. This we can only have the individual power to remember who we are and use this power. And when we get under the government, our inner government, the government of our soul, then we can get to an agreement. There's only one spirit. There's only one spirit. And when we obey this spirit within each one of us, we can reach an agreement.
So in other words, if we just say no, even to mask wearing, like going in the hospital, so we just all just say no and just not do it. What? Just not do it.
Well, do it in what way? Say no to whom?
Say no to, if they're trying to force you to wear a mask, just to say no, I'm not putting it on.
I don't even have to say I don't put it on. I don't have to tell them I don't put it on. We don't even have to answer them. We are the authority. It's about time that we think as sovereign individuals. A sovereign will never tell his people or her people why she or he doesn't do what they would like him to do. We have to change our mindset and remember that we are the supreme authority and behave as such. Otherwise, we're slaves. We live in slavery. We are slaves. And as long as our master is not too bad, we will remain slaves, and that will be fine. If we have a good master, we'll be happy. Citizens, a citizen is a slave. That's what it is. There's a master and there's a citizen. Where authority and obedience are separate. No. As long as I do not remember that I am the supreme authority and I obey my supreme authority, then there's no more fear. No more fear. That's all. And whatever will happen will be fine, will be perfect for my evolution, the
There's been a lot,
spiritual evolution. Yes,
there's,
go
there's
ahead.
been a lot of fear, right? A lot of fear in Canada with the mask and the vaccine and the sickness, a lot of fear. They,
Well,
they
yes.
took our individual rights from us with fear.
Okay. When you say, first of all, in Canada, I can't limit it to Canada.
Oh,
It's
I know.
humanity lives in fear. We all live in fear. And that was my conclusion to this feardemic. I call it a feardemic. It has nothing to do with an epidemic. It's a feardemic. That's what it is. Remove the fear, there's no more epidemic. Remove the fear, there's no more conflict. That's all. It's fantastic. No more war. And it's it's so simple, but we are not even aware of being fearful. We live in fear all the time. And but that can be, and this is what I'm very involved in. This year, especially this year, is the time to get rid of fear once for all. And it's easy. Where does fear come from? Fear comes from the separation between authority and obedience. The authority is outside us, and obedience, we have to obey external authorities. Well, when we realize that the only real authority is within us, which is our soul, the divine aspect inside us, and that we obey this divine aspect inside us, we obey our own authority, our divine authority. When we obey it, fear goes away, because what's going to happen to me? Fear always has to do with the future, never with the present. It has to do with the future. What's going to happen to me? I don't know. But one thing I know is that my soul will create my future. I obey my soul. The soul will govern my future, and my soul knows what I incarnated for, why I'm here for. And my soul knows, and my soul will bring me the events that I need to grow in consciousness of who I am and become who I really am. So it's a spiritual solution. We have made revolutions for years and years and years, and so many, and we're back to square one. It never changed anything, because we have tried to change matter, but it doesn't work. As long as we keep giving priority to matter over spirit, we will never reach anything. We will never change anything. So it's time to give priority to spirit over matter, which means give priority to my being over my having. And this is, it's like the example I love to use. It's like a plant or a tree. There are the roots, and we're made up of two elements, the roots and the foliage, the branches, and so foliage. What comes first? Priority doesn't mean superior. It means comes before. What comes before? The roots or the foliage? Well, the roots come before. And the roots are what we don't see. It's the invisible part of us, of ourselves. And this is our being. And it's time that we give this being priority over our having. Our having is everything we have everything that's material, all matter, and that we are attached to. We're attached to money, we're attached to our house, our career, our reputation, our everything. We don't want to lose that. We've worked hard for that. Well, it doesn't mean that we're going to lose it, but let go the attachment. That is not what will decide for me. A perfect example we're experiencing right now in many cases is accepting the job to keep our job.
It's a
That's all.
bioweapon, is it not? It's a bioweapon.
It is a bioweapon, and we accept it.
Not
What do
me.
we do?
I'm not accepting it. I interviewed a lady last night who had she's got severe side effects from the jab, and it's not good. Your message is beautiful.
Well, there's a solution. You see, it's we have we have to go to the very basic root of the problem, and because this has been going on for eons,
Love.
minority has been ruling majority. What's going on? Not with them, with us, the majority. What can we do differently?
What can we do differently?
Give priority to our being over our having. For instance, even though I may not be aware, and this lady you've interviewed yesterday, she did not know. She had doctors in the middle, in the field of medicine, who told her what they thought they had to say or whatever. And she inside her, she didn't feel like getting the job, but she listened. She obeyed the authority of the external people instead of obeying what her inner authority was telling her. And that applies to everything in our life at every moment.
Well,
Who's running my life?
I'm I'm going to give you an example of that. I first believed this pandemic. We'd wash everything when we got home, and we did this and that. And one day I was walking around in my home, and I had a strong feeling inside that this is BS.
Right.
That is what you're trying to tell everybody today. Well, that's what I listen to, and that's why I'm doing podcasts. I give out others papers and I give out my cards and stuff, but I know exactly where you're coming from. Your inner spirit, your feeling, telling
Yes.
you there's something wrong. You need to listen to it, and
Mm.
I did, and I'm so glad I did.
Yes, absolutely. Precisely. That's what it is. And we we we've been taught to obey external authorities. They know better than we do. No, no. Uh, we still, as as citizens, we still believe that we need a government. No, no. Anarchy is not the solution. The solution is the inner government. Obey my inner government. And when we all obey, all group or whoever we are, we obey our inner government, we all get to a consensus, unanimous consensus immediately, because there's only one spirit. So I thank you for sharing your experience with this, because this is precisely what it is. And
Exactly. I knew just by listening at you that that's exactly what you were talking about, and I experienced it. Well, we only have 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in our podcast, and I really enjoyed. Is there anything you'd like to say to the viewers today? And I loved your message.
We don't need fear anymore. And, and that may sound ridiculous, and impossible. No, there is no impossible. Fear belongs to animals. And it's time for us, human beings, to let go this animalistic part of ourselves and reclaim our idessic, our divine entity, our divine identity that we are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony.
For joining us on the Nova Scotia Free Speech Bulletin Board. And when you send me the information, I will make sure it gets the information you want on our podcast. I'll put in the description. I'll put it in on our podcast. Thank you very much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.
You're very welcome. I hope you come on again sometime in the future. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you.